Now, with all the defection stories and closed-door meetings taking place in Delta State, going on between the All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party, the Labour Party has been silent, with not much activity going on in the state. Due to this, some people have written them off, saying that they stand no chance to cause a major upset in 2027. However, the party recently tackled Governor Ajufo on the wasteful defection ceremony, or so they called it. The National Vice Chairman South-South of the Labour Party, Chief Tony Ezeagbo, stated this while reacting to the defection of the entire Delta PDP membership in Asaba, Delta State. Ezeagbo stressed that LP will maintain a strong opposition in the state after the collapse of PDP into APC. He said there will be a lot of infighting in their new party as people from diverse backgrounds, including those who previously left the party due to internal disputes, are now returning to join the same group they once clashed with. Well, joining us on the show this morning to discuss Labour Party's chances to challenge the two leading parties in Delta State amidst the wave of defections from PDP to APC is Diokpa Deli Ajufo. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. But very quickly,
Doctor,
what do you think of the defection en masse of PDP members in Delta State into the APC? Do you share the view of the National Vice Chairman South-South of the Labour Party that it was a wasteful defection ceremony? How would that be to the advantage, anyway, one way or the other, of the Labour Party that scored just 7% in the 2023 gubernatorial elections? APC got 36% in the governorship election. Obidient, governor, got 54%. So a party that got 7% in the last election, the man that won is trying to consolidate, by joining the ruling party. And then a chieftain of the Labour Party says, oh, this is a wasteful defection. Do you share that view?
let me begin by saying that the statistics being given about the percentage scored by Labour Party in the 2023 general election is erroneous.
It's what?
Erroneous. It's not correct.
Yeah, but the election was challenged all the way to the Supreme Court.
Let me land, Dr. Abati.
Okay.
We have a situation where figures are allotted to various political parties. The tsunami that greeted the presidential election in Delta State was unprecedented for Labour Party. And some of us, including my very self, were offered humongous sums of money, such that I've never seen in my life, to support the ruling party, PDP. We rejected it on principle. And during the collation, our people were thoroughly brutalized. So we have figures to show that in Delta State, Labour Party won the election at the governorship level and the presidential level. It was also attested by the former deputy, I think, chairman of APC South-South during his interview or discussion with Dr. Pato Tommy recently on a radio station. So yeah, we know you won the election, but we give you whatever we felt like. So this idea of allotting figures to political parties, we accepted it because we were not ready for it. We did not expect the kind of shenanigan that went on during the election. We're better prepared now.
Yeah, but I wanted you to talk about the defection.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Basically, it's we have harlots of Jericho in Delta State. Harlots of Jericho, people who will use their positions to invite foreigners to invade them and occupy the territory. But we know better. They are protecting their loot. Delta State, over the past how many years of democracy, has been bedeviled by inept leadership. We all know it, and we've been crying out. Unfortunately, we have a situation where there's hunger in the land. It has been weaponized. But we are trying as much as possible to let the people know that despite these defections, their lot will not be better if they keep following those characters that I call harlots of Jericho. It's not going to affect anything. One, I do agree with Ezeagbo for once, that there'll be serious implosion. Look at the characters that have defected for personal interest. All of them without exception. If you talk about Delta North, it's going to be worse because those defecting are all gunning for the same positions. I wonder how it's going to pan out. So let them go. We're waiting for them. It's not going to affect anything. The fortunes of Labour will be better enhanced by their defection.
Okay, a number of issues to unpack here. The first being, I'd love to know what the status of Labour Party in Delta State is currently. It's been almost 2 years, well, over 2 years, excuse me, since the presidential election. And of course, we know that Labour Party had a moment, but that many people call the Peter Obi effect. However, since then, so many things have happened within your party, especially at a national level. Does Labour Party Delta State, are you behind Abure? Are you behind Nenadi? Well, I'd love to know from you. Which way is Labour Party in Delta State inclined? And how are you looking for ways to reconcile those wins that you saw during the presidential election that didn't materialize during the gubernatorial election? Is there any way you think you can reclaim the disparity that happened there in your favor?
There is something that people are talking about generally now about Labour Party. In Delta State, we believe that Peter Obi's presidential ambition was given birth in Delta State. The umbilical cord of the Obidient movement is buried in Asaba. So we don't even reckon with Labour Party as a party at the moment in Delta State. In answer to your question, we see
you're Obedience in Delta State, you're not Labour Party
absolutely. So we look at the situation. We interact with some of them. They are our friends, but we know that most of them are agents of people who believe that money buys everything. Recently, we saw somebody called Julius Abure calling on the president to intervene in Labour Party affair. For God's sake, what does he want the president to do? You're calling a lion to come and interfere in the affairs of sheep. It's not going to work. So we just discountenance them. What is happening in this country is lack of intrepidity in the handling of judicial matters by the courts. The Supreme Court gave a judgment. They did not go fully to the end. You say that Julius Abure's tenure has expired. What does that imply? If his tenure has expired, the Constitution of Labour Party, NEC, says that the highest ranking officer becomes the head of NEC. And the highest ranking officer in Labour Party today is the governor of Abia State, followed by his deputy, the leadership of NLC and TUC. They form the NEC, and they should take decisions. But we know how justice is procured in this country. I'm not going to dwell on that now. But we are working. We're not deterred. We are working. And at the appropriate time, when the whistle is blown, we shall know who controls Delta State.
Well, it would be interesting to hear a bit of your plans, because against the backdrop of what we're discussing really is a really shifting political landscape. It seems with every moment the APC continues to get stronger and stronger, aided by these defections from the PDP. Yesterday, we've spoken at length about the People's Democratic Party, and the analogy was given that they're in intensive care. It's a very, very dire situation for the party. But for Labour Party, it does seem as though you're somewhat shielded from this defections issue on scale. But if you're looking ahead to the future, to 2027, what plans do you have in place to really be the formidable opposition that the PDP is so far struggling to do?
I'm going to a football match against an opponent, and you want me to come and expose my tactics to play football match with my opponent. It doesn't happen. I'm not here to come and tell you our strategy, but we are planning.
What about your team? Perhaps not your strategy. Who are your team?
Very strong, very strong. I can tell you for
Who's up front for you?
We have Obedience in Delta State that is ready to overwhelm any political party. I say it categorically. The Obedient movement in Delta State will, not can, will overwhelm the merger of PDP and APC. Those people are slogan-based political parties.
Okay, Diopam, just before we go, you've been saying you have Obedience in Delta State that will overwhelm any party. Well, Obedience, that is not the title of any political party in the country. So can you tell us the difference between Obedience and the Labour Party, because you can only vie for an elective position on the platform of a political party, or is Obidient specially registered as a political party in Delta State?
You're falling back to what she asked me now to tell the strategy we're going to use. Obidient is not a political... Dr. Bati, you're too intelligent to try and catch me that way now. You're a lawyer. You know, let me tell you, Obidient is a movement. You understand? And anywhere we go, we'll overwhelm them. It's like a weevil. You know how a weevil comes to a farm and overtakes it and overwhelms it? We are waiting. The president of NLC, Joe Ajero, has written to INEC, giving them timeline to use the Supreme Court's judgment to determine, we're law-abiding people, the leadership of Labour Party. That will determine the Obidient movement. And within 48, is it? I don't know, 28 days he gave them. And when that happens, you will hear from us, and then our strategy will be known to you. Until then, we'll keep it quiet.
Okay, thank you for joining us. But one major takeaway for me, the phrase you use, the harlots from Jericho in Delta State. When I use that phrase, another time,
quote me.
Please, they should know that I got it from Diokpa, not my own idea. They say there are many harlots in Delta State.
I'm sure you know the story of the harlots of Jericho, if you're a Christian. And that's what we have in Delta State. We're not ashamed to say so.
Thank you, Diokpa Ajufo.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Ajufo, thank you so much for your time. All right.